Have you ever heard someone describe another person as having gone crazy? It's a harsh term, often used to describe someone having a severe psychological breakdown, showing intense aggression, or acting in ways that seem completely irrational. While it's easy to judge, it's more helpful to understand what might be happening beneath the surface. Often, these extreme reactions are deeply rooted in a brutal or traumatic past. Let's explore the psychological wounds that can lead someone to this breaking point. First, let's talk about childhood trauma. When a child endures abuse or neglect, whether it's physical, emotional, or sexual, it leaves deep, invisible scars. These experiences fundamentally damage a child's ability to regulate their emotions. Think of it like this: their internal thermostat for handling stress is broken from the very start. As they grow into adults, even minor stressors can feel overwhelming, leading to explosive reactions. Many children who experience trauma learn to cope by dissociating, mentally checking out, or by developing intense, simmering anger that they don't know how to manage. These aren't healthy coping skills. They're survival tactics that can backfire later in life. Next, consider the impact of severe bullying or social rejection. Being constantly targeted, excluded, or ridiculed can be just as damaging as physical abuse. Over time, it can breed chronic anxiety, deep depression, and a powerful sense of rage. The person starts to believe that the world is a hostile, threatening place. They might become hypervigilant, always on the lookout for the next attack, or they might develop aggressive tendencies as a way to protect themselves. They learn that the only way to not be a victim is to become a threat themselves. Profound loss and grief can also destabilize a person's world. Imagine losing a parent, a sibling, or a best friend, especially at a young age, and having no support system to help you process it. This unresolved grief doesn't just disappear. It festers. It can lead to severe depression, an inability to form healthy attachments, and a pervasive emotional instability. The world feels unsafe and unreliable because the people who were supposed to be there are gone. This constant feeling of abandonment can make it incredibly difficult to navigate life's challenges without feeling like everything is about to fall apart. Similarly, growing up with neglect or a lack of emotional support can be devastating. A child needs responsive caregivers to feel safe and learn how to manage their feelings. When caregivers are absent, cold, or unresponsive, a child's emotional development is stunted. They may grow up struggling to trust anyone, unable to regulate their own emotions, and clueless about how to build healthy relationships. This leaves them incredibly vulnerable to emotional breakdowns later on, because they never built a solid foundation of self-worth and emotional intelligence. Exposure to violence is another major factor. Witnessing domestic abuse, community violence, or the horrors of war can completely rewire a person's brain. For one, it normalizes aggression. Extreme behavior doesn't seem so extreme when you've seen it your whole life. Moreover, their stress response system can get stuck in the on position. This chronic activation makes them more impulsive, paranoid, and quick to react with a fight or flight response, even in situations that aren't actually dangerous. Of course, to deal with all this pain, some people turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms. Substance abuse is a common one. Drugs and alcohol might offer a temporary escape from the agony of their past, but in the long run, they only make things worse. They can intensify mood swings, heighten impulsivity, and even trigger psychosis, pushing someone further toward that breaking point. Underneath all of this are unresolved psychological conflicts. A brutal past often leaves a person drowning in powerful emotions like shame, guilt, and rage. If these feelings are never addressed or processed in a healthy way, they build up like pressure in a volcano. Eventually, they have to erupt, and when they do, it can look like a sudden, irrational explosion, what others might call going crazy. Finally, it's important to acknowledge that genetics can play a role. Trauma doesn't happen in a vacuum. It interacts with a person's biological predispositions. Someone with a family history of mental illness, might be more vulnerable to developing a severe psychological condition. When exposed to a traumatic childhood, it's a tragic combination of nature and nurture. It is crucial to remember that having a brutal past doesn't automatically mean someone will have a breakdown. Many people show incredible resilience, but repeated trauma, neglect, and violence significantly raise the risk. The good news is that healing is possible. Early support, access to therapy, and learning healthy coping strategies can make all the difference. Understanding the why behind someone's behavior isn't about making excuses. It's about fostering empathy and recognizing the deep pain that often drives it. If you or someone you know is struggling with the weight of past trauma, please know that help is available and you don't have to carry it alone. Reaching out to a mental health professional can be the first step toward healing. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.